to 25 million. And the decline in COVID-19 cases in the country is accompanied by the center's assurance that India will soon emerge victorious against the pandemic, and as the international community comes forward to help the nation in its time of need. Not only to receive oxygen from Indonesia, many countries have given COVID-19 assistance to help to cope with the record increase in virus cases that has placed the burdens of the country's healthcare infrastructure. For example, British Oxygen Company delivered around 1,350 oxygen cylinders, and India also received more than 50 oxygen concentrators from Thailand and more medical supply from the European countries. The coordinating minister for the economy, Erlangga Hartarto, said that the main reasons for sending these aids to India is due to closer cooperation and mutual support in facing the pandemic. India has helped Indonesia a lot in facing COVID-19 pandemic as well. For example, by fulfilling the supply of AstraZeneca vaccines produced in the country through the multilateral COVAX facility. And not only that, India is also one of the countries that import medicinal raw materials to Indonesia. Let's see the proportion in the next graphic. Through the next graphic, we can see Indonesia's medicinal raw materials import, because around 90% we got it from the other countries, and India has contributed around 30% of the medicinal raw materials, while the other hand is 60% goes to China. And then by meaning of that, India helps Indonesia's domestic pharmaceutical industry to produce more medicines and support the growth as well. And as we know that the pandemic has generated a sense of crisis in the pharmaceutical world, to support research activities, develop innovations, revitalize the domestic pharmaceutical raw material industry, to strengthen national pharmaceutical industry manufacturing structure. But then it is not about the pandemic. Relationship of India and Indonesia is a very good long before COVID-19 happens. For example, the economic relations. So in the next graphic, let's take a look at the trade balance between Indonesia and India. Here it is. We can see the good relations between India and Indonesia throughout 2020. We can see that the total trade value between these two countries reaching $14.18 billion US. Meanwhile, for export only, Indonesia export commodities to India reaching $10.41 billion US. And how about import? Indonesia import products from India reaching $3.76 billion US. And of course, India's main export products to India include coal, palm oil, copper, rubber, and chemical fertilizers, which these export commodities has brought a trade surplus of $6.65 billion US for Indonesia at the time in 2020. Meanwhile, Indonesia's main imports from India are frozen buffalo meats, peanuts, cyclic hydrocarbons, steel products, and sugar. Thus, economically, Indonesia and India benefit each other. But in the humanity context, both countries take care of each other as well. Indonesia gives COVID-19 assistance to help cope with the record increase in virus cases that has been placed a burden in India's healthcare infrastructure. And this is not only helping, but this is the spirit of solidarity and cooperation and a hallmark of India and Indonesia relations. Stay tuned to market headlines because we will be right back after this quick break.
Menteri Kesehatan Budi Gunadi Sadikin menargetkan vaksinasi COVID-19 akan rampung pada minggu ini. Level-level 6.200-an ini menjadi level krusial juga ya.
ASG mungkin masih berpotensi menguat ya. Karena kita lihat juga kalau misalkan secara domestik.
Berdasarkan hasil referendum per 7 Maret 2021, mayoritas masyarakat Swiss menyetujui perjanjian dagang Indonesia.
BNI dengan dukungan Kementerian Pertanian meluncurkan program milenial smart farming.
Warga Amerika yang sudah mendapatkan vaksinasi penuh dapat kembali beraktivitas seperti keadaan normal.
Melihat ini yang menurut saya menjadi sentimen negatif buat di pasar komoditas karena penguatan untuk menekan harga komoditas.
Welcome back to Market Headlines. So viewers, let's take a look at Jakarta Composite Index intraday movement. So earlier today, JCI was open at level of 5,876.05. And then approaching the closing time of the first session, the index was on the level of 5,895.79. And the index was showing strengthening trend by the second session closing time. The index was closed at the level of 5,947.46. In short, JCI went up 1.69%. Next, we are going to see the sectoral movement. Leading the dynamics of today's trading, we got our technology as the leader of the strengthening trend that went up 8.66%. We got infrastructure that went up 3.5%. We got non-cyclical that went up 0.46%, and energy that went down 0.69%. Moving on to the top gainers and the top losers, here are the key highlights from today's trading sessions. We got BBRI that went up 4.67%. We got Telkom Indonesia that went up 5.2% to the level of 3,440. We got MDKA that went up 3.85% to the level of 2,700, and MLPL that went up 1.7% to the level of 478 per share. Meantime, for the top losers from today's trading stations, we got PJS that went down 1.33% to the level of 1,115. And we got a friend that went down 3.37% to the level of 86 rupiah per share. We got ANTM that went down 0.41% to the level of 2,450 rupiah per share. We got Pura that went down 3.42% to the level of 141 rupiah per share. Next, we are going to see the intraday movement of rupiah towards US dollar. So rupiah opened at the level of 14,288. Rupiah was also showing strengthening trend towards US dollar. I was closed at the level of 14,262. In summary, rupiah went up 0.41%. The annual general meeting of Kalbe Pharma shareholders decided to distribute cash dividends of 5.3 trillion rupiah or 28 rupiah per share.
Kalbe Pharma distributes cash dividends of 1.3 trillion or 28 rupiah per share. Management say that an interim dividend of 281.3 billion was distributed to shareholders on December 18, 2020 of 6 rupiah per share, so that the total distribution of the final dividend was 1.58 trillion. Payment of dividends will be made within 30 days after the announcement of the results of the annual general meeting of shareholders, with a schedule and procedures that will be announced soon. In 2021, the company remains optimistic about the potential for growth and projects an increase in sales and net profit of the company by 5 to 6%. Meanwhile, the capital expenditure fund is budgeted at 1 trillion rupiah to increase the company's production capacity and distribution network. Taking into account cash flow and the need for operational and investment funds, the company will strive to maintain a policy of distributing dividends of around 45 to 55% of net income. IDX Channel reports.
Jasa Marga is optimistic that this year's performance will be better and remains committed to the maintaining positive performance amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic.
Jasa Marga is optimistic that this year's performance will be better and remains committed to maintaining positive performance amid the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. According to Jasa Marga's Corporate Finance Group Head Eka Setya Ardianto, This optimism was supported by a fairly good liquidity condition and a significant reduction in interest rates. In addition, Adri is also optimistic about toll road traffic, especially on the Trans-Java toll road. He saw a change in travel patterns from aircraft to land in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic conditions. However, for toll roads that are tourism in nature, it still takes longer to recover. Meanwhile, throughout 2021, Jasa Marga's corporate finance group head Prasetyo Wibowo explained that conditions had begun to improve in the second quarter of 2021. He is optimistic that performance will improve on an annual basis. IDX Channel reports.
Step aside from market conditions, as coronavirus pandemic takes big role on current economic situations, here it is an update data about coronavirus globally. The news close on market headlines today. Please enjoy our next program on IDX Channel, your trustworthy economic, business, and capital market channel. And don't forget to always wear face mask in the public, keeping safe physical distances and washing hands to break the chain of COVID-19 infections. I'm Clara Antawijaya. Have a nice evening and stay safe.